Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about more transfer news. The month of January is slowly winding down. Celtic probably not strengthened the squad as much as we would all have liked by this point in the transfer window, but we still have about 10 days left. Hopefully Celtic do make something happen, something maybe that will improve the first team, the starting 11. You know, that's what probably matters the most. You know, we're in such a closely contested title race now that, you know, a wee bit of quality added to the first team would be nice into that starting 11. I have faith, the fullest of faiths, in every player who plays for us on the park every week, but I still think we need that little bit of something, a little bit of cutting edge to make sure we do get the job done and we are the ones that get the title over the line rather than, you know, slipping up in big games again. You know, I don't want that to happen. But today we're going to be talking about the news that has been breaking over the past sort of 2 days or so. The rumours and such floating about the internet. We'll talk about the realistic chances of stuff happening. I'll kind of debunk the ones that I don't think will happen. Granted, I think there only is 2 deals we're going to talk about in this one, and we're going to start off with the man who we actually made a video about yesterday, and that is Leigh Griffiths. Now, everything that I've potentially got to say about Griffiths and, you know, the whole sort of controversy surrounding him heading into the Partick Thistle game at the weekend, you know, deleting his social media, his place within the Celtic squad, the critics saying that his time at Celtic was done. Basically, everything I could say about that is in yesterday's video. So if you've not seen yesterday's video, because I think the notifications didn't work right, if you've not seen it, make sure to go check it out. It's literally the most recent video on the channel. So everything in my opinions to do with Griffiths coming back into the team and scoring at the weekend and such, I've basically covered on that very briefly. I'll say I'm delighted to see him back in the team scoring goals. I hope it does continue. I think it'd be fantastic if we could get an informed Griffiths in the side to give some competition to Edouard up front. What we need is more strikers scoring goals, so it can only be positive. But the news that has been floating about the internet over the past sort of day has been that apparently Leeds are looking at the chances of them signing them. You know, they want to maybe attempt to bring Griffiths down south into their championship challenging side, which really has came out of nowhere. Did not expect to hear that news, especially with, you know, the amount of time that he has spent on the sidelines away from football. I didn't expect a team in the position of Leeds to be thinking about potentially bringing in Leigh Griffiths. Now, this one I don't think is got a completely realistic chance of happening. I don't see it happening at all, actually. I think it's literally just paper talk. But, I mean, it's so surprising. It just came out of nowhere. Yes, he came back at the weekend, he bagged the goal, and he looked, you know, like he was getting back to somewhat a good level of fitness. But it's just so weird. He's not a Bielsa type player in my eyes. You know, Bielsa, I watched that Leeds documentary, it was on Amazon, and we're talking about how Bielsa is so fascinated with having fit players and blah blah blah. And obviously Leigh Griffiths has struggled with fitness issues in the past. Brendan Rodgers kind of left him on the sidelines because he didn't think he was fit enough to play for Celtic. I don't see it happening, but the talks are there that he's been shortlisted as a potential striking option for Leeds. Now, I don't think it'd be the right time to get rid of Griffiths. Yes, we've just brought in Klimala, and we're just going to talk hypothetically just now, as if, you know, this was actually realistic, it was going to happen and Leeds were to get Griffiths. We'll come on to the actual figures and such in a moment, but hypothetically, I don't think it'd be a very good time to get rid of someone who potentially has important goals in them. Now, I don't know moving forward how much Neil Lennon plans on using Griffiths, if the cup was just a chance for him to get a run out, and maybe he'll now start switching to Klimala and Edouard or such. Don't even know if he's going to stick with the diamond formation and give Griffiths any more starts. We'll need to wait and see when the likes of Christie's back to full fitness. But in this time where we don't have a lot of great depth and we've not got really anything proven from Klimala yet, we don't know anything about him, we don't know if he's good enough, it would be a silly decision, I would say, to get rid of Leigh Griffiths. Now, back a while ago, I don't know if you remember, Celtic valued Leigh Griffiths. We're talking about, you know, a £20 million player, and apparently, according to the kind of rumours that have been breaking, I believe it was Football Insider who have came out with the story. Celtic's estimations apparently dropped to £10 to £12 million for Leigh Griffiths. Now, let's get one thing out the way straight away. That pretty much spells it as being not going to happen right there, because there is no chance anyone is going to be paying 10 to 12 million for Leigh Griffiths. Now, as much as I support Leigh Griffiths, I want him to do well, I want him to get back in the Celtic team, I want to see him scoring goals, and I'm happy that he's back in a positive position. There is no chance in hell somebody's going to pay 10 to 12 million pounds for a guy who's scored 2 goals all season, or 3 goals, whatever the exact figure is. It's his first goal since August at the weekend there, and he's been on the sidelines all year. He's not played a great deal of football over the past couple of seasons. no one is going to come in and pay 10 to 12 million pounds for that. Now, when we spoke the other day in my video about valuating players and what the Daily Record gave him, what I gave him, the Daily Record valued what I think at £1.5 million, and I agreed with that. I said, you know, you can't be looking at any more than like £2 million for Leigh Griffiths because he's simply not played football. That's not me saying Leigh Griffiths isn't a good player and doesn't have the capability of being a £10 million player. The fact is, he needs to get back in the team. He needs to get scoring goals. He needs a run. He needs to put together a run of form that will make him that value. I mean, he's 29-year-old. He's not played football. We'd be hoping and dreaming. We'd be laughed at by Leeds if we asked for 10 to 12 million pound, which is why I think maybe, yes, they've looked at Leigh Griffiths as an option and went, we can maybe come to him. There's no chance he's going to be a first, option for Leeds, but the talk is there. Leeds are apparently interested. I hope we do keep him though. And I hope it becomes more important to us. I hope he gets scoring goals and follows up on that performance at the weekend. Because he's a top player and he has the ability when he plays his best to be, one of Celtic's most important players and also Scotland's best striker. Which is why I want to see him hit top form again. But as I said, everything that I could basically say was covered in yesterday's video. It's a bit longer, a bit more conversation. But Leeds, Leigh Griffiths, do you see it as a realistic thing? I mean, it would be a fantastic signing for Leeds if they could get him firing because he is a player who could probably lift them up to the Premier League. I don't think he would be a Premier League quality striker as of right now. But he could definitely lift Leeds from the Championship. And if you asked me a few weeks ago, I would have said maybe send him out on loan, get him some football. Don't think it because his future was so uncertain. But now it seems like Lennon wants to back him. He's back with the team. And he's ready to come back in and start scoring goals. So, on the outside of things, Griffiths to Leeds, if you ask me, there's 0% chance of it happening, but the talk is there, and that's why we're speaking about it ultimately here. And the final transfer we're going to talk about in this video on top of that is on the inside of things, rather than out a little bit more positive surrounding this one. Well, I guess it depends where you're coming from. It could be positive, you might find it as a negative. I'm really on the bench about this one. I'm not too bothered, but apparently Celtic are looking at the possibility of perhaps signing Liam Donnelly's defensive midfielder. Liam Donnelly's, that's his name. Motherwell's Liam Donnelly, who is a defensive midfielder at Motherwell, had a pretty much, decent season, good season, I would say. Scoring 9 goals as well from, a deep position in the middle of the park. He's a talented young player, 23 years old. He's got a lot ahead of him, but it hasn't been met with too much positive reaction from Celtic fans. If you look at the people reacting to the kind of stories of this breaking on Twitter and such, a lot of people complaining at the fact that it's still no one that's going to make a difference to the first team. They're not going to really get in over McGregor, Brown and Cham, Christie, whatever in the middle of the park. And it's basically another squad player we're just kind of building in there. Now, I do firmly believe, and I've said this plenty of times on the channel, I believe we need to add depth to our squad. That is what we need. But if we're bringing in Ismaila Assoro, which we're still waiting on, and I hope to God that actually does happen instead of just being talk forever. I hope it doesn't fall through like Turnbull or something. But if we bring in him, there really isn't that much of a need for him, I suppose, so I can understand that. But at the same time, you're looking at a young player who could potentially add something to the team, a young Englishman. I mean, that automatically puts his value up a bit if he starts playing well for us. But you're looking at someone who's probably not going to cost Celtic too much money. But one of the main criticisms is, why not just wait to see what Turnbull's like when he comes back, and then maybe go back in for him, try and bring him back to the club, because we knew he had talent. Showed that at Motherwell. Celtic were, had him in the shop, sitting beside Neil Lennon, and then it fell through because of injury. So people are saying, why sign Donnelly when there's a chance Turnbull might come back, be better than Donnelly, and then we've just wasted money on him, because Motherwell probably going to ask for at least £1 million, £2 million for the player, considering his performances this season. I mean, I don't mind the thought of it, but it feels like a panic buy towards the kind of end of this season. End of January, sorry. I don't think it's the smartest of investments, considering we have got a lot of quality there. But Celtic are apparently looking. I don't know what your reaction is to it all. He seems like a solid player. But ultimately, will he improve the Celtic squad? I don't think so. Especially for the fee that Motherwell probably look for. It's just not going to be the wisest of signings. I'm all more on the side of the kind of Twitter reaction to this. I mean, it can play in other areas as well, defensively, but Nah, I wouldn't bother too much. But that's about it for the transfer talk of the day. There's not too much breaking at the minute. We're still waiting on Sorrow coming in. We need to get that deal wrapped up. It's a joke that it's taken so long, but we'll just have to wait and see. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure to hit like and subscribe. All the links to everything will be in the description below. Please make sure and check out yesterday's video if you want any more context to the speaking about Leigh Griffiths situation. Good to see him back in the squad though, and hopefully we get a result against Kilmarnock tonight, and we'll react to that tomorrow as well. Like and subscribe as I've already mentioned, and I'll see you all next time.